Hey guys, this is Miss Owens. I'm here today to lead you through a few notes, some reviews about your participles. Um, we're going to be going through this PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to have a few fill in the blanks for you. In your classroom, you're going to see a document that looks like this. It says Back to Basic Notes. I've got some squares here, some little boxes where I want you to be filling in the blanks to some of our basic notes. I also am going to help you fill out these participle notes if you don't have those handy. If you already have a copy of these, if you feel like you can fill them out adequately, you can just copy in what you have. But this video is going to go into detail in case you need to get that extra little boost and have that information right in front of you. You will need this information, whether you've already had it or if you're getting it right now, but make sure you hold on to it. Also, your extra work today, you're going to have a little practice with me here for punio, punire, and you're going to have two of your own verbs. I've got multiple copies of this in the stream, so yours might not look like someone you consult with, but you're going to have the same basic notes anyway. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go, back to basics, participle notes. All right, the first thing you need to know is that participles are verbal adjectives. Verbal adjectives. Remember, this is a video, so you can always pause it or go back if you missed something. But that's very purposefully named. It's like the words cheese pizza, right? Both words convey something about what you're buying. If you buy a cheese pizza, you know what you're expecting. The same thing is true about participles. They have a verby quality and they have an adjective quality. They are like verbs because they have these two categories, tense and voice. Remember, we say T for tense, T for time. That shows when something's happening. And voice is either active or passive. Both qualities of tense and voice are also in all English verbs as well. All right. This is something you know, I'm sure, off the top of your head with a little bit of prompting. Our verbal adjectives are like verbs because they have tense and voice, and they are like adjectives because they have these famous three qualities: gender, number, and case. Gender, number, and case. You see the gender, number, and case by the ending that is on the participle. That shows you which noun it goes with, right? Because adjectives always pair with nouns. That's because adjectives, by their very nature, have one job to do, and that's to describe something. Keep in mind that because a participle is really an adjective, it is not a verb. It comes from a verb, and it has some qualities like a verb. So it has tense and voice, but what its job is not to describe an action. It's not the action of the sentence. It is describing a noun. Just as much as the word blue or tall, a participle is an adjective, has gender, number, case. All right, so these are the adjectives that we already know, participles that we already know. The first one is called the PAP, and we did a little practice with this very, very recently, just the week before break, actually. So the initials PAP stand for present, that's the tense part, active, that's the voice part, participle. Again, a participle is a type of adjective. So this is a present active participle. All right, here we go. We're going to actually start taking some notes on that sheet that I've got for you. Hopefully you've been filling in those blanks, but you can always go back and do that as well. I'm going to show you where this is going to be written, okay? So on your notes page, you've hopefully filled in these boxes here. And on page 2, you're going to see participle formation notes. We've got boxes. I've made them nice and roomy here so you could type those things in. If you're more of a hand writer, that's totally fine. You can print it out and copy it down, and you can send me a picture if you'd like. It's just really important to me and for you that you have these notes somewhere. All right, so the first one we want to do is for the present active participle, which is going to be this box right here, present active participle. It's present. You see that? It's active. We see that. And obviously, these are all participles. So this top box is going to be the one you're going to be writing these notes into. And the notes for the present active participle are as such. To form it, you're going to get the second principal part stem. And in parentheses here, I show you what that means. That means you take off the last 3 letters of that principal part. So that could be ARE or ERE or IRE, depends on the word, right? So those last three letters. Once you've taken those off, you're going to add the correct ending set. These endings correspond to your conjugations. Conjugations are those patterns of spelling that have very uncreative names. First conjugation, second conjugation, third IO, and fourth. If you can't remember how to identify your conjugations, I've added a little chart to what's listed in your materials called the blue card. You can also go back and see the PAP review sheet or the deponents and semi-deponents review sheet, because I've also included notes for each of those. So you're going to add that correct ending. And as you can see in bold here, that IS symbolizes the fact that these are all going to use the third declension endings. And the translation for this word will be whatever it means, ing. So running, warring, talking, it's just going to become ing. All right. We can always pause if you need to. All right, the next box we're going to fill out is for the PPP. This is the very first one that you learned this year. And the initials PPP stand for perfect, that's the tense part, passive, that's the voice part, participle, perfect passive participle, PPP. All right, as I say here, the perfect passive participle box is in the middle row on the right-hand side. To give you a little space here, that's what this looks like right here. Perfect over here on the left-hand side, passive up here at the top where those two meet, that's the perfect passive participle box. So there, I want you to fill out these notes. One of the reasons we learn it first is because it's the easiest one to form. It just is the fourth principal part of a verb. Simply put, whatever that form is, that's what your participle is. We want to add these endings I've written here in bold, -a and -um, and that symbolizes the fact that it uses the first and second declension endings, US, A, and UM, right? We know first declension is A, AE, AE, AM, long A. Second declension, USI, OMO, or if it's neuter, UMI, etc. The translation here is going to be having been blanky D, having been blanky D. And yeah, that's the one that you learned first. I often call that the 3-word formula, having been blanky D. All right. Again, you can always pause if you need to. Okay, the last one that we learned, and the last one we're going to talk about today, also pretty easy. It's the FAP. The initials FAP stand for future, that's the tense, active, that's the voice, and you got it, participle. These are going to show up, this particular note set is going to show up in that last box that hopefully you haven't filled out yet. Future and active right here in the bottom left-hand corner. All right. So let's get to it. Oops, I just went back there. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay, so the future active participle. It is also taken from the fourth principal part with a slight adjustment. Remember, you are the future. So we need to have a you are there at the end. You can think of it as taking off the US and adding you are US, or you can think of it as just adding a you are before the ending. But don't forget, you are the future. And so that's the clue for forming this and identifying this. As I also have here on the top line, it says -a-um because this also uses the first or second declension endings. The translation for the future active participle is about to blank or going to blank. There are a few other ones too, but these are going to get us through most of the things we need to do. All right. Okay, let's do a little example. So as you look on your sheet, right after your notes, you're going to find another box set, a little bit smaller because we don't need quite as much room. And we are going to start off by doing the present active participle, which is right here in that top row. And the word that you've been given, everyone has the same example word, is punio, punire, puniwi, punitus, which means to punish. All right, first things first, as it says in the box of your notes, we need to get the second principal part stem. Punire, P-U-N-I-R-E, is our second principal part. It is also called the infinitive. And to get the stem, as your notes should say, you take off the last 3 letters. So take a second here. What are you left with? P-U-N, P-U-N, all right? So that's your stem. Now we need to add the correct ending. There are a whole host of endings, right? ANS, ENS, or IENS, and we need to pick the correct one according to the conjugation here. Because the spelling of this word is IOIRE for the first and second principal parts, I can tell you that this is a fourth conjugation verb. If you can't do that off the top of your head, use a resource. They are abundant. Open up a new copy of that blue card from the Google Classroom stream. You're going to see that I've written out how to identify all of your conjugations. It's really important that you're able to do this so you get the right ending. For fourth conjugation, the ending is going to be the IE form. So IENS, comma, IENTIS. Let me see a little typo there. So I'm going to fix that for you whenever I actually publish this, okay? IENTIS. So make sure that you get those forms there. Your forms, here we go. Puniens, punientis, spelled correctly there now. I'm also going to add that to my master document here. PUNIENS. PUNIENTIS. Great. So I have that there on my basic notes. A little preview there, spoiler alert. So we've got our form, and now we need our translation. Both of them are worth points. So the translation for your PAP is always ING. PAP equals ING. And so very simply, we just change the word to punish to just the simple form punishing. All right. So let's go ahead and add that. Punishing. No. Okay. So let's jump ahead here. We're now going to talk about the perfect passive participle right here on the right-hand side, the middle row. And yeah, follow along with me here. This one's pretty easy because it is the fourth principal part, right? So punio, punire, punivi, punitus. Well, the fourth one there is punitus. The ending we have to make sure we put on there is -a and -um. So let's put our form in. Punitus-a-um, the whole thing for full credit. And your translation is that three-word formula, having been blank ed, having been punished, having been punished. So I'm going to go back to my note sheet here. I'm going to add it right here. Perfect passive box, punitus-a-um, and the translation here is having been punished. Great, cool. Okay, going back. Yeah, one more box. All right, going back through. There we go. All right, our last one here is the future active participle. It's right there at the bottom row. Okay, this one's also really straightforward, pretty easy. Don't forget, you are the future. So it comes from the fourth principal part, punitus, right? And as I just reminded you that you are the future, you know you're going to add that you are in front of the US. So fourth principal part, punitus, your ending is you are US. And don't forget -a-um again to show me that it comes from the first and second declension endings. So puniturus-a-um, there is our form. The translation, if you look back to your notes, is about to or going to blank. So I just picked one and I said about to punish, about to punish. So let's go back in here and let's fill it out. Puniturus-a-um, about to punish. There we go. Not too bad. All right. So for the rest of this, you have two more examples that I'd like you to do. This one you're going to do solo, okay? You see what I have written in our example boxes here. It is not complex. It is not outsized. It is just forming the nominative and potentially the genitive, if you're looking at the PAP here, forms of the participle and giving me a basic translation for them. So I want you to then go to both of your participle boxes here and fill that out for me. Turn it in. Like I said, if you don't have the same one as a friend you're consulting with, then make sure that your notes are the same and you should be able to get there still. I have office hours every day, 9 to 10 a.m. Feel free to stop in. I'm happy to help. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was one of my very first videos, so it's a little bit nervous. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.